What's going on, everybody? My name is NoVaVisionsx, and today we are doing something different. Now, if you are one of my 400 subscribers, you know that I mostly do gaming content. But today I wanted to do something that is a passion of mine. I am a very passionate NFL fan. I love football. I don't ever get to talk about it, and I kind of, I'm not going to make my channel about football, but I'd like to do a tier list or talk about it once in a while. The draft is over. All 7 rounds are done and completed. And I just kind of want to maybe do a too early tier list on what I think is going to happen. This is for training camp. All of that is just teams are drafted, and I'm basically just going to be ranking them on what I think they're going to be this year. So obviously most of the postseason moves have happened. Most of the free agent signings are done. We might get a couple, but I don't know if we're going to get anything huge. Maybe a J.K. Dobbins signing. That'd be cool, because he is not signed at the recording of this video. As you can see, we have Super Bowl favorites, Super Bowl contenders, playoff teams, potential wild cards, missing playoff teams, mediocre at best, young but intriguing, and number 1 pick contingent, which will probably be Caleb Downs. That's my best guess. But without further ado, if you guys like this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. And let me know what you think. See if there's anything you agree with, anything you disagree with. If you're rude, I probably won't respond. If you're somewhat respectful, I'll read it. I'll read it regardless. But yeah. Anyways, let's get into the video. Oh, the Saints. Okay, so I'm a Chiefs fan, but ever since I started liking or watching football, I liked the Saints. Here lately, I'm having a hard time liking them because I'm so sick of the drafting that's being done by this team. Every year they go 500 and then they don't get any organization changing players, and then they stay mediocre. That Tyler Shaw, I think his name's Tyler Shaw. He's a big guy. He's not elite. He played college for 8 years, and he had 1 season where he actually started, and his stats weren't horrible, but he wasn't electric either. And he's 25, so it's not like he's gonna be a backup forever. He's gonna bounce around the league for a couple of years, probably not get to do too much, and that's just because of his age. I'd love to see him come in and prove me wrong, saying Derek Carr goes down, but I'm just so sick of the Saints making the wrong move. Here's my thoughts. They could have taken Shador numerous times. Now, whether you like Shador or you don't like Shador, he has shown more potential than Tyler Shaw. That's all I'm saying. And they passed up on him time and time again. And honestly, with a high second-round pick, I feel like they should have taken something different if they weren't going to take a Cam Ward or a Shador Sanders. That's just my opinion. Or just... they probably could have got Tyler Shaw in the 5th round. No one was really looking at him. He just came out of nowhere, and everyone's yeah, he's getting drafted. Out of nowhere. He did not need to be taken in the 2nd round. Or they could have just waited. They could have got a younger guy of a similar caliber later on. But that's just my thoughts. The Dolphins. I really don't think they had an amazing draft. They really didn't make a whole lot of postseason moves. They're a very injury-prone team. Tyreek's kind of been a little bit of a diva this offseason. But if Tua goes down, I like their backups more than last year. I think they could potentially be a wild card team. I'd be surprised, but it's potential. I like the signing of Quinn Ewers. I know a lot of people aren't too high on him, but I'd like to see him succeed as a backup. I think the Dolphins have a lot of talent on their roster, and I think they could definitely make a wild card push. The Ravens. Super Bowl contenders. I got the Ravens. We let them get Malachi Starks, which is not good because they still have a lot of their good defensive pieces, and then they let arguably, I don't even know if it's arguable, the best safety in the draft fall into their laps, and then they got him. They got Mike Green as well, which obviously he had some off the field issues, but he's probably going to be a good player. So I think the Ravens, all they did was got better on defense, and I think their offense stayed about the same. So I think they're going to be Super Bowl contenders again. I think they're going to be a problem, just like they are just about every year that Lamar's healthy. The Bengals. Last year they missed it. This year, if Joe Burrow plays the same, that's like their only hope. I don't even know if I want to give them playoff team. No. This is my predictions. I'm going to predict this. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they're going to be a little better than they were last year, win-loss wise. That team, with Joe Burrow, it's hard to count them out. As a Chiefs fan, I will compliment the Bengals. They are a good offensive team. I don't think the defense really improved that much this offseason, which was kind of surprising, but not really, because that's just kind of been the theme of the Bengals for the last couple of years. But yeah, I think they're going to be a playoff team this year. I think that's a pretty good. I got the Broncos making the playoffs again. This team had probably the best defense in the league last year, with maybe the Eagles. Eagles were the only team I would argue was similar. And they got more defensive pieces. I think the Broncos are easily going to be a playoff team this year. I don't know if they're going to be a first round exit again or not. They also brought in, I don't remember, is it RJ Harvey, I think was the guy they grabbed, the guy from UCF. I believe that's the guy the Broncos grabbed. I hope he will be better than the running backs they had last year, because honestly they are a good running back away from being a terrifying team. Giants. I mean, this category is named for them. Young but intriguing. I don't think they're going to be much better than they were last year. I didn't really necessarily like the trading back in the first round to get Jackson Dart. I don't know what all the hype is about him all of a sudden, but they're young. I think in a couple of years they might be a problem. I also really like the Cam Scatteroo pick, by the way. I'm grabbing that man in fantasy if I can. That dude runs with heart. He's a fun guy to watch. I liked a lot of their draft outside of Jackson Dart. I think young but intriguing is probably the best bet for them. I think they'll be better than last year, if that makes anyone feel better if you're a Giants fan. I think they will be better than last year. I mean, God, I hope so. If Jackson Dart remotely works out, they'll be better than last year. So I'm going to leave them at young but intriguing. The Vikings. I'm going to leave them at potential wild card, and I get that they were a good regular season team last year, and I really do like the Vikings. I love watching Justin Jefferson play. Sam Darnold cooked. They have a very good defense. But they're bringing in they got the rookie coming in. I just don't see a world where... Okay, well, I see a world. They have a really good head coach. Sam Darnold's a little more experienced. I think that they're going to be just a teensy bit worse than they were last year. I'm just going to leave them at potential wild card. But if they make it, I wouldn't be surprised. The Rams. Yeah, they'll probably be a playoff team. They're in a kind of weak division anymore. I mean, a couple of years ago, it was stacked, but the Niners have fallen off. The Cardinals are getting a little better, but they aren't better than the Rams yet. I think the Rams are pretty easily going to fit into the playoffs, even though all of them have about the same record. Seahawks are really their biggest contender, and that's a big if, depending on how Sam Darnold works out, or maybe Jalen Milroe. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave them as a playoff team, and because really I feel like the only competition is the Seahawks, so we're just going to leave them there. Buccaneers. No, I think the Buccaneers are probably still locked in. I don't think any of the teams got good enough to be better than them. I didn't necessarily love. I don't want to butcher his name, but the wide receiver from Ohio State. I know his name ish. I really do not want to butcher it. He's a good player, but I don't feel like a wide receiver was something they needed necessarily. They were really good on that side of things. I did really like that D tackle they picked up to put next to Vita Vea. It's going to be very hard to run the ball on this team. I think this team will be just as good as last year. I think they will be just as good as last year. Lions are going to be Super Bowl contenders. I mean, they're just such a stacked team now, and they what's his name? I probably should have wrote down the names of who all they drafted. The defensive player they took in the first round was very good. I think he'll fit nicely on that defense. If Hutchinson's healthy this year, that'll definitely be a problem. They have a really stacked line. They got a really good guard. The Tate guy, got Mullet Man. He's gonna fit nice in a Dan Campbell offense. Lions are still Super Bowl contenders. I don't think they're gonna take a step back. I think they will be. Okay, I think they're gonna be just as good as they were last year, but I think they might have one more loss. That's gonna be my take. The Bears. This is the year where we find out about Caleb Williams. That line that they have now, you can't sit back there and pretend like it's terrible. It looks like he actually has a solid line now. They got him more weapons. I think the Bears are a potential wildcard team. Now, last year, everyone was drinking the tea. They all thought that, this is the Bears' year. I wasn't too sure. I ended up being pretty correct. But this year, I'm sipping it. I'm sipping the tea. I think they're going to be a potential wildcard team. They are in a very good division, but if Caleb Williams balls out, which he doesn't even have to ball out near as hard as he did last year, he shouldn't be sacked, 80 times this time around. Shouldn't be. I think the Bears, they did a lot of smart things in the offseason, getting guards like Joe Tooney, which broke my heart, but, he was expensive. I think the Bears are a potential wildcard team, and I don't feel like that's too hot of a take. I think this is the year that Caleb Williams, it's his boom or bust year. I mean, they figured out if they got their guy or not, which he showed flashes last year, so it's possible. San Fran, they're missing the playoffs, I think. They lost like everybody. They did sign George Kittle, which was nice. They're just down so many people. It's really hard to sit here and think they're going to be a potential wild card, given that I think they ended up being last in their division last year. It's between them and the Cardinals. But in a couple years, maybe they might build themselves back up, be a good team again. I just don't think that they are going to be a playoff team this year. Personally, I think there are two teams in their division that are better than them, and I don't think they're better than a lot of teams in the NFC. So I got the 49ers missing the playoffs. Sorry, Niners fans. You guys had a rough go at it last year, but, you were due for it. Eagles, Super Bowl favorites. I'm probably just going to put one NFC, one AFC, and I'm sure you can imagine who's going there. I'm getting real sick of us doing this for the Eagles, by the way, because I believe the same thing happened for Jalen Carter. We just go and let one of the best defensive players in the draft fall to them at pick 31. Why? Why did we do that? Why did we do that every year? Why do we let them get another good defensive player every year? Their defense was already the best last year. It was already the best defense. In the Super Bowl, they didn't blitz a single time and sacked Mahomes the most he's ever been sacked in a game in his career. And we let them get better? They're Super Bowl favorites. It's pretty cut and dry. Raiders. In the division they're in, I don't see them making it. I do think I'm just going to leave them as a missing playoff team. I do really like the Genti pick. I like them bringing in Geno. I think they could eventually be pretty good. However, I don't think they're going to be better than the Broncos or the Chiefs or the Chargers, for that matter. I think they're going to be missing the playoffs purely because of the division they're in, but I think they'll be a competitive football team. Packers. I mean, they got to be a potential wild card too, because if the Bears don't make it, I think the Packers will make it. I think 3 teams from the NFC North have a chance of making it again, and I think 3 teams from the AFC West have a chance of making it again. But yeah, I got the Packers being a potential wild card, purely because they got Golden, which was not a terrible pick, but that wide receiver room's pretty deep. Their defense is pretty solid. Their offense is pretty solid. But the Bears just made so many improvements. I just gotta put them there. I mean, I got 3 of the teams there because I feel like any of them could be a playoff team, but I'm not for sure on which ones are going to make it. So I'm just gonna put them all 3 in the potential wild card, and I got the Lions, making it. So Commanders. I mean, they gotta be a playoff team again, right? Come on now. I don't know if anyone else had Jade Daniels in their fantasy team last year. I got him super late. I knew that he was good. A lot of people in my league didn't really know a whole lot about him. I just knew that he was good at, pretty accurate, pretty good at running the ball, so I took a chance on him. Paid off. I did get second. I did lose. Choked. I choked when it mattered most. But that team was fun to watch. I watched a lot of Commander games last year. Very fun team to watch. I think they'll be a playoff team again. And if they want to go make a run at the Super Bowl, that'd be cool to see. I just think the Eagles are a little better. So, Cardinals. I think we're really close to the Cardinals being a potential wild card. If they make the wild card, I wouldn't even be that surprised. I like that they got Will Johnson. I really wanted the Chiefs to take Will Johnson, but I understand us taking Simmons. He's pretty good stats. But they made some moves. I think that they will actually be a pretty solid. I think they'll be better than last year as well. I feel like a lot of teams have gotten better, and that's why this is really hard to do. But I got the Cardinals. I got them missing the playoffs, but I think it's just because they're the 3rd best team in their division, in my opinion. And honestly, they're comparable to the Niners. So I got them missing it. Maybe they're a couple years off. Maybe your guys' time is coming soon. I just don't think it's going to be the 2025 season. So, Steelers. I think we finally see the Steelers. No. I think they're probably still going to be 500 wild card team, like they are every year. Steelers are just consistent. They're pretty cut and dry putting them there. I don't got a lot to say. We'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. The Bills, Super Bowl contenders. Feel like that's pretty obvious on why they're Super Bowl contenders. I mean, MVP Josh Allen last year had a really good record, made a really good playoff push. They're just a very talented roster. I think the Bills could definitely see themselves in the Super Bowl. I don't want them to be there because that means the Chiefs don't make it, but I can definitely see them making it there. They had a pretty good draft. I think the Bills are still Super Bowl contenders. I don't think they take a step back. Falcons. Man, they play in such a bad division. I'll put a potential wild card. The Falcons, I don't know. I feel like they have a lot of talent. They just don't know how to use it. If that makes any sense. I think the Falcons are a talented team. I don't know if I'm for sure that they're going to be a playoff team. I think they're a potential wild card. If they want to go and be dominant, go win the Super Bowl, prove me wrong, I'm fine with that. But I think they're just going to be a potential wild card. Seahawks. I think Seahawks missed those playoffs last year. I like their draft too. if Sam Darnold or Jalen Milroe work out, they will be a playoff team. And my friend's a Seahawks fan, and as much as it pains me to say it, I think they will be a playoff team. They have a very good defense that got a little bit better. They got Geno Smith for like a cheaper contract. I mean, that's pretty much what Sam Darnold is to me, just a cheaper Geno Smith. And they got a really good, if he develops, Jalen Milroe will be a dog. So I think the Seahawks had a very good draft. Finally got themselves a tight end. I think the Seahawks will definitely be better. Also improve their line. So, yeah, I got them being a playoff team. Patriots are also young but intriguing. I don't think they make a playoff push this year, but I did like the moves they made. Obviously, Will Campbell stole a lot of people's hearts on draft night. With Bro is out there, he's going to go die on the line, sounds like. Which is cool with me. Oh man, I don't have anyone number one pick contention. This is hard. But yeah, I got them being young but intriguing. I mean, that's the best way to describe them. So, the Browns. I like the Browns. Personally, I liked them whenever Baker was there, and I didn't give up on them. They're not my team, but I root for them. Do I put them? They got Shador way later than I thought that they were going to get him, but they got Shador. That quarterback room is just, it's rough. Do they just tank and go for a number one pick? I don't know. The Browns is a weird team to judge because they have a really good defense, and if Shador ends up being good, I'm going to put them at missing playoffs. I think they're going to have like a barely sub 500 record, but they are probably going to be good in a couple years, hopefully. I don't know. I like the Browns. They're a weird team to assess. I'm going to leave them there. Texans. Yeah, they'll probably go and win their division again. Texans are in a very easy division. They'll probably be a playoff team. They have a very talented roster. I hope CJ, reverts back to his first year self. Last year he was a little rough, but they still have a lot of talent. They got some good wide receivers in the draft. They got like another Nico Collins, so that was neat to see. But I think the Texans will probably be a playoff team again. They just play in a very favorable division. So, and they have a very good defense. Their defense was electric last year. The Chiefs, obviously. I loved the Chiefs draft this year. We grabbed so many dogs. I think his name is Bashard Smith. The guy we got in the 7th round. He had over like 2,000 all-purpose yards for SMU his first year as a running back. Played wide receiver multiple years. He's like a new Jerick McKinnon. I mean, I love that pick. That was a good... We got Jalen Royals, too. Simmons. Omar Lot. We got a lot of pieces that just made a lot of sense. I really liked how we drafted. So I think the Chiefs are obviously going to be Super Bowl favorites. We've been there the last 3 years. Last year, obviously, that was an embarrassment. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I think Chiefs are going to be Super Bowl favorites. I think that we're going to be more talented as a roster this year. I hope that we aren't boring to watch. Last year we were kind of a boring team to watch. But yeah, I think we're going back to the Super Bowl. Hopefully. Cowboys. Well, the Commanders are in. The Eagles are in. I'll have them missing the playoffs. I don't feel like they got that much better. And they needed a running back, and they went and brought in the Denver guy. Oh, what's his name? I don't remember his name off the top of my head. They really just needed a good running back. They drafted a fine. I believe he was a guard. The Tyler guy, the third Tyler on their line. But I just don't think that they are necessarily going to be better than the Commanders or the Eagles. We'll see what Dak does this year. I mean, they're always a good regular season team, but I don't know. I just feel like their division is just getting tougher and tougher, and they're at a standstill. So I think the Cowboys are missing the playoffs again. Chargers. Potential wild card. I really like the running back moves they made. Their line's obviously insane, so if Hampton or Najee can just be solid behind that line. I mean, J.K. Dobbins cooked. I'm honestly surprised they let him walk, but I think the Chargers will be a potential wild card. They could sneak their way into playoffs again. It wouldn't be very surprising. They have a very talented roster. As I said, 3 AFC teams, 3 NFC North. Or I guess 4 NFC North can technically, well, all 4 can't make it, but I feel like it's going to be close. So, Jets. There's a good example of number 1 pick contention. I just don't think they got that much better. I would love to see Justin Fields prove me wrong, but he's already played for one organization that failed him, and the Jets just aren't a very good organization. I think with the number 1 pick, they should get a new GM at this point. The Jets are just, I don't feel like they improved that much. They have a lot of young talent on their roster, but I don't think they're going to be much better this year. I'd like to see, I feel like they might win a little more, but I do feel like they will be probably the weakest team in their division. So I got them for number 1 pick. The Panthers. I want to see this team succeed. I got the Panthers being a potential wildcard team. Hot take. I love their draft. I want to see Bryce Young cook. I watched I watched a lot of their games last year. I watch a lot of games. All right, I love football. Football is so great. I watched them play. Bryce Young looked like really good. Whenever they played the Chiefs, he had like this insane throw where he was like cross-body defender in his face, threw an absolute dot to I think Adam Thielen. I was amazed. They got a young wide receiver core. They got Chuba Hubbard. I just think that the Panthers, they might get there. I mean, they play in a weak division. They could get there. So I got the Panthers being a potential wild card. I want to see that team succeed. Titans. That's the best thing we can do. If Cam Ward ends up being really good, they could be a potential wildcard team. But I don't know a whole lot. I mean, there's been no training camp happen or anything. This is just after the draft. If Cam Ward works out, they could be a potential wildcard or just a straight up playoff team. But right now, they're just young and intriguing. I feel like that's the best way to describe them. And the Colts. I think they are still going to be number 1 pick contention. They have some talent on their roster. They had an okay draft. I don't love their quarterback room, even though it'd be cool to see Daniel Jones make a comeback or Anthony Richardson, play, because that dude is such a freak athlete. I'd love to see either of their quarterbacks succeed, but I feel like in a weak division, they're the weakest. I just don't feel like the Colts are. Maybe in a couple of years, if they get this number 1 pick, actually, it'd be a bad year to get a number 1 pick. There's not a whole lot of crazy quarterbacks coming in. But I don't know. I'd like to see the Colts figure something out, but I think they're going to be in the number 1 pick contention. And the Jags. It'd be cool to see them make their way back into the playoffs. It's been a couple of years. However, is this the year that they do it? Maybe. If they have a healthy Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen, I think his name's Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen is a good coach, and Trevor Lawrence is healthy, with the addition of Travis Hunter and everyone else they brought in. They play in a weak division. I mean, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world if Travis Hunter is like elite on both sides of the ball, or even just somewhat good. Because Brian Thomas Jr. was great last year. If they have two guys like that, I mean, they may not even need a defense. They might just pull the Bengals and just outscore. I mean, it'd be really cool to see them make a step back. They've been kind of bad, I think, these last 2 years. But it'd be cool to see them make their way back into the playoffs. But yeah, that's my list. Super Bowl favorites, I got the Chiefs, Eagles. Contenders, I got the Ravens, Lions, Bills. Playoff teams, I got the Bengals, Broncos, Rams, Buccaneers, Commanders, Seahawks, Texans. Potential wildcards, I got the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Bears, the Packers, the Steelers, the Falcons, the Chargers, the Panthers, and the Jaguars. Missing the playoffs, unfortunately for you guys, I got San Fran, I got the Raiders, I got the Cardinals, I got the Browns, and I got the Cowboys. Sorry, Cowboys fans. Mediocre at best. The best team for it. Only team that got to go there was the Saints. I'm very tough. I'm glad the Saints aren't my main team because it'd be very hard to not lose my mind. It's not been the same since Breeze left, but young but intriguing. I got the Giants, I got the Patriots, and I got the Titans. Number one pick contention, I got the Jets and the Colts. Let me know how you feel about this list down below. And if you guys like this video, I might, do a little something here and there. And if this is your first impression of me, go check out my gaming content. I, upload a lot of stuff. Play a lot of Rivals, Siege, stuff of that nature, horror games. But yeah, this is my tier list. As I said, you can just let me know how you feel down below. And yeah, hope you have a good day.